What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania alongside for the right is a man who would always give up his WrestleMania spot for me, JC.
No, because I'm like Arn Anderson, bitch. You try to jack my car, I'm pulling out the Glock, and bang! We're going to be the bang scissor game in your face. But on Nestlemania, we had quite the week, quite the weekend, quite a lot of things in wrestling. So I just have one question for you. What do you want to talk about?
So we're going to kind of just negate the regular format of the show, at least momentarily, I think, because we have to talk about what is the biggest story
here. Well, because if not, we'd be starting with heat. We can't do that. So we're just going to call this the hashtag We Want Cody, whatever you want to call it, a palooza. We're treating it like a pay-per-view because that's what it was. It's bigger than a pay-per-view.
I mean, we're probably going to talk about this for a very long time. So let's just get in it. Anybody that's in the chat, anybody that has any ideas, please
chime in.
Yes,
there's so many angles to attack this. I'm going to do my best to try to keep my mind on track. But like, obviously, like since Friday, my brain has gone a million gajillion different directions. So it's all jumbled up there. We're going to try to both get all our thoughts out coherently. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.
I mean, you might.
Yeah, no, there's nothing ever coherent about us.
No, I was going to say, especially me, I can barely talk. I mean,
yeah, if you guys saw my note sheets, you'd laugh because there's just not much there.
I have never beaten autocorrect in my life. It just doesn't happen. Anyway, that's beside the point. So for the people that don't know, you're living under a rock. We'll just do a TV guide version here.
Pun intended.
Yeah, seriously. So Cody made a decision supposedly on Friday. And before he said anything, these words are very important. This is probably a good jumping off point here. He said, "Oh, I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for that title, Roman Reigns, but not at WrestleMania. And even though I seeked counsel, there's one person that knows you better than anybody else." And then you heard, "If you blah, 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 blah." And then, out comes the, as you've talked about, the glamour muscle man, which may be a t-shirt from now on instead of muscle
glamour
man.
Muscles. I mean, I wish I had more glamour muscles. The man is a fucking god, but
he's a house.
Those ain't wrestling muscles.
He reared his Ninja Turtle-like head, and out he came with his shell. And he came out, and they didn't say a goddamn word, but there was a moment where he shared something with Cody, and then he left the ring.
He stared at Cody, watched that ass walk all the way down the ramp, be like, "Get the fuck out of my main event."
But the thing that was interesting to me is that Cody grimaces an awful lot. Like that's like kind
Cody is not good at hiding it.
No, he has this like telltale like tick almost where it's just like
he's an emotional man.
He is a very emotional man, and so that happened. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's preface this, right? We are all very upset for the most part, but that might mean that we have fallen hook, line, and sinker. So we don't know.
Well, I think that's kind of where we start because obviously, like there was a whole journey throughout the weekend and then Monday, and we're gonna get there. But I think kind of starting step by step kind of gives the timeline because I know for me, like my emotions and mind have been everywhere. And that Friday night, I wasn't watching live because I couldn't because I had seen that The Rock was in the fucking town. I was just like, I can't watch this live. I can't. I need to know what happens when I go into it. I can be prepared. So obviously I saw it, and then I did. I watched it later that night, and I was just Nestlemania. What did I do on this podcast last week? I literally popped champagne for the second time celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
We had the moment. I had the guarantee. I said during the Rumble before it even happened, I got it. Roman looked at him. It's it. It's locked. But it wasn't. So my initial reaction Friday, I was just dejected. I didn't feel anything. I was just disappointed and dejected not mad. It's just like the way Cody looked leaving that ring is how I felt at home. And clearly there were a lot of other people who have that as well. And if you know the stages of grief, it goes a million different ways. And that created the whole weekend of madness on the internet. But yeah, for me, I mean, and I'm still mostly just dejected. I will preface this being like, we can definitely 1,000,000%. You're going to have more than I have about scenarios, about how this gets changed, yada, yada, yada. I have zero hopes and I have zero dreams about this getting changed for many reasons, which we will dive into in this discussion as well. I'm keeping my expectations at an all-time low because I don't want to get disappointed again, because Nestlemania last year and for the past year, I've done nothing but beat this drum about the mistake they made last year by not capturing it. The first thing you and everyone else told me was like, don't worry. They're going to do it next year and it's going to be a bigger deal. Well, guess what? I thought I fucking had it. And for the second time, they pulled the rug from underneath my feet and I was left face down on the cold, hard earth, emotionless. So I have no hopes. I have no dreams. It's going to be Rock Roman. Cody's going to fucking win that stupid, shitty fucking belt. Priest is going to cash him instantly. So he barely has to touch it. Thank God. And then we're going to move on. And I'm going to work night 2. If Cody's not working night 2, then I'm working night 2. You know, if Cody's working, then I'm not working. But if he's not working, then I'm working. So it's kind of like tongue twisted myself there, but that's my initial where I stood.
So I will say this much. I think you're going to do yourself a disservice if in fact you work night 2. I really do.
Well, maybe if things change before then, I haven't officially untook it off yet, but because it just it's fine.
But there might be other things on that thing that might be worth it. I'm just saying.
I will say the other thing that I considered was historically, night 1 has been the more stacked card because the main event is night 2. So usually everything else that I really, really like will be on night 1. So, you know, we'll see. But I don't want to watch Rock Roman live. I don't want to, if that's what it is, because I won't enjoy it. If after it happens and I go back and watch it, I think I'll have a better chance of being able to get through it. But I just emotionally will not be able to handle that.
I'm hearing Rikishi will be fighting night 2. Thank you, huge.
I mean, Rikishi's probably in better shape than Glamour Muscle Rock at this point. That fat ass probably moves better than that fucking Glamour muscled ass.
That is the biggest dimply ass I've ever seen in my life. Wang, #Wang thoughts.
What were your initial thoughts on Friday Nestlemania? We got Wayne's thoughts. What were your initial thoughts?
So here's the thing. I didn't see it live. I tried to catch up when I could. I tried to stay away from initial thoughts because I didn't know. All I saw, I think, was either Danny or somebody say, "For fuck's sake." That's all I saw. You know what I mean? And that just sent me into oh God. And my immediate thought was you. I didn't, as much as you hate me and as much as we're not friends and whatever, but like my thought was, oh God, is he going to be okay?
You watched me pop champagne twice.
I know.
Twice last week. I was so excited.
I'm
loving my boy today. Love and trust.
I love that you love him. I love that you have somebody like that. I haven't had somebody like that in a very long time. So,
I've never had someone like this that on this level, like ever. Like as a kid, like you love Cena, you know what, you love those guys, but like with Cody, it's just so much more. We can dive into that a little more too as we work through this time.
So I thought about it and I went, they didn't outright say something, right? And I think that was really smart. And for me, I'm looking at it from, I can remove myself. I mean, I hate it if it is going to be Roman and Rock. I do hate that. Is it box office? Yes, unfortunately. Now we can have that comparison here, that would the Rock versus Roman make more money than Cody?
The same
and
amount
Roman?
Of money, man.
So
you know how many tickets were left before this match? Is like before they even teased the Rock? There were like 1,000 tickets left. And that's it. You don't need the Rock to sell 1,000 more tickets.
Okay, but just I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
He is more well known. He could bring in more sponsorships. He could bring in more celebrities. He could bring more things to it, more eyeballs. I'm just saying.
He brings himself to it. That's the difference.
Okay. But so there's that. I'm not fighting for The Rock, by the way. I don't care. You know how I feel about The Rock. You know,
Nestle's someone who actually has never liked The Rock. I've always been mostly indifferent, and I have appreciated The Rock.
I don't know. By the way, and this is going to be an all-time rant on my end when we get to it, but I don't know what it is about Samoans and shitting on other champions, but it like, good God, like when we get to
That's
that
the
point.
other side of this is Roman
Yeah.
took a shit on Seth
Yeah.
and then be like, oh, well, Cody, if you want to go for the second tier
Nope.
thing, then I guess you're just okay with being second place. And then they literally had him do it. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
I'll get to that at some point. But anyway, my thought was they were smart enough not to outright say it. And that was great. And then we go to Monday. We'll come back, but they didn't say it again on Monday.
Yeah,
He just looked
stupid.
But here's the thing. Regardless of how this happens, it doesn't fit with Cody's character. That
100%.
was my bottom line about this was you made Cody look like a cuck. You made him look like a bitch.
Yep.
And regardless of how it's going to turn out, it is a huge character flaw, a huge character plot point or void, if you will, because Cody Rhodes wants that fucking thing. When he won on Saturday, he fucking turned around and he pointed, you. He was going nuts. He wouldn't have done that because he wouldn't have been able to mask it if he knew what was going to happen on Friday.
Yeah.
So people can have their conspiracy theories. We don't know. But if
we
somebody
can talk about some of those, but no.
But here's my thing. Okay. If Cody Rhodes knew about that before the Royal Rumble, he would not be as dejected as he is. But there's no fucking way.
Before the Royal Rumble, like it just like the CM Punk was still expected to challenge for the heavyweight title, and so Cody wouldn't have been doing that. If you win the Rumble, that means you're going for Roman's belt. So it's like all that stuff. Like I ignore most of it because they're all morons. And if you guys that follow the news cycles of Meltzer and all those other fucking morons, you'll notice that they report literally everything, like every side of it. So then with whatever happens, they can be like, I was right, but I'm not wasting my breath on them. You hit on the point, the most important point of why this turned into hysteria. Because as an audience, we aren't fucking stupid, especially now in the internet age. Everyone's an intelligent fan because we have all the information at our fingertips, this and that. We also have eyes, and we have seen like the thing with Cody, like we saw him come out at the press conference as gleeful as we've seen him since he's been in WWE, being like, I told you so, victory lapping, saying none of you believed in me. I've seen all the memes making fun of me, but now it's happening. And then it's just, you get to Friday. It's like, why would this man do this? Unless if he was forced. And that's why you see that hashtag down there on the screen. The name of our episode, We Want Cody, was born, because that's what pisses off fans the most. Obviously, yes, we love Cody. Like, Cody has been the biggest babyface since he's come back. It's been a phenomenon. It's amazing to see. He's hugging kids, kissing babies, like giving out weight belts, like signing autographs. He does it all. He's an amazing human. That's why we all love him. And he's a larger than life character. But the reason why this became like such a big revolution and whatever you want to call it over the weekend is because we could tell that this wasn't what he wanted to do. He's being forced into it. And immediately when you look at it, what just happened with The Rock in the last 2 weeks? He was named to the board of directors of the company. Do you know what that means? That means he is one of however many there are most powerful people in the company. And so if he wants to come down and do this, he can. He can walk into Triple H's office and be like, yo, bitch, I don't know what you have, but I'm going to come in the back door like your mama leaves open for strudel, and I'm going to take that main event because I can do that. So that's how we perceive immediately as it happens. Like, The Rock threw his weight around, put himself in the main event, and creative obviously had a plan for Cody and Roman, and they had no way to mask it on TV to magically fix it because there is no magic way to fix it. And that's why it's one of those things, like it's a tough look for The Rock. And that's why on Monday, which we're going to get to in a moment, you're getting the Rocky suck chance, which, I mean, look, even when this started, I was like, dude, if The Rock's music hit, I'm popping too. The Rock's a fucking legend. Can you smell? Like, who wouldn't want to pop at that? Especially like if you're in an arena and you're not expecting it. I'm going to go crazy too. But to hear people chanting Rocky sucks and some of the like stuff we've seen on the internet and some horrible things people have said, which if you're doing that, fuck off. Like, you've already chased his poor daughter off the internet. Fuck you. That's a whole nother thing. Fuck you all for doing that. Let's be fucking respectful here. It's fucking wrestling. Grow the fuck up. But that's how this whole movement started, is because they insulted our intelligence, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. And people want this. And now you made them want it more. And that's why we had the conspiracy theories of people being like, oh, they do it on purpose. And that's like, dude, I can tell you one thing. It's just like, we always knew this was a possibility with The Rock, and I knew it was on the table. But like, having Cody win the Rumble and doing like the way he did, like, it just, something changed. And like, yes, now who knows, they can adjust if they ever want. Like I said, I have no hopes and dreams, nothing of that, but it's just funny to watch like the twisting that everyone has done. But to me, like the biggest takeaway for me is like, holy shit, like I know Cody's a star. I've always believed in him. That's why I'm a fan. I've always believed in the guy, and to see him do this, like I've always knew it. And it's awesome to see that everyone else is embracing him too. But good God, did you ever think Nestlemania that Cody Rhodes would be so fucking over for getting a rematch at WrestleMania to win a title that he would have people chanting Rocky sucks on Monday? Like Seth's reaction, he just like Cody was so uncomfortable, but Seth just like laughing, being like, I never thought I'd hear that one. It's like that shit's as genuine as it gets, man. This is wild.
I don't see. The thing is it does lead itself to a lot of awesome things leading up to WrestleMania, because now you can't.
That press conference they made must see.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's really what I'm gonna be looking for. Like if we could, you and I would love to do a live we can't, but like
that's the what time's that press conference?
7 p.m.
WrestleMania.
Maybe.
I'm working a day shift that day. It's the NBA trade deadline. Our show's at 6. I'll be home a little after 7.
I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll
so maybe keep your peepers pop. Maybe there'll be a bonus this week.
Or maybe you just put the camera up and record and see what your reaction is, and I'll edit it together. I don't care.
Well, we'll cross that bridge.
We'll cross it. But anyway, Thursday is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Now, my question, which again, we're not going to have an answer to, this is just hypothetical here. Do you think that press conference was going to happen if The Rock
they've started to do press conferences for all the major events?
Okay, because it just seems odd to me that it was just like there. You know what I mean? It just seemed like, what the fuck? Like out of nowhere.
Well, it's also there's also something else big happening in Vegas this week. I'm not sure if you're aware. So it's kind of having all of them in town to be a part of
what could possibly happen in Vegas this week?
It's having your crew in town the week that's happening. There's a lot of good media exposure too. So this was very, very planned.
Huge Wang says Wang and Nestle can open the live reaction until JC gets home. Wang will probably be half in the wrapper going. Fuck.
Wayne, I hate to disappoint you, but Omos is not part of the press conference.
Oh Jesus! You never know. He could pop up.
He wasn't on the graphic, just like Bailey. We'll get to poor Bailey, but
hashtag Wang Mania. There we go. Wang Mania. Oh God, get him his own T-shirt. So look, there's a lot you can think about. There's a lot you can be upset about. But the one thing that really, really bothered me, and we talked about it briefly, was that Roman Reigns could have fucking. Here's the thing. There are two things here. Well, we'll get to the thing I want to talk about. But number one, I think Roman Reigns could have stepped in. He could have stepped in and said, dude, not this year.
I
think he could have. But here's the thing.
I think, because I've seen this with this, and I've seen this with Triple H. I think what people forget a lot of the times is like, yes, Triple H has a lot of power, but he is like a local boss. He has a lot of bosses above him, and The Rock is now above him on that board of directors. Like Triple H answers to the boss who answers to them. It's just so it's one of those things. Like if The Rock wants to do something, The Rock gets it done, and that's why what this looks like. Especially when we saw how bad the creative was. But same thing with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is a fucking employee. Yes, he's a very gifted employee. He definitely has a lot of say on a lot of his things. But also, it's one of those, he's been wanting this match forever too. For him, he's like, look I'm in the main event either way. I either get to fucking beat the shit out of The Rock, or I get to cheat and beat Cody again. So I think for him, it's just A, why would he step in? And B, I don't think that he has the power.
I don't know the man. But I think he knows, if you like money, go for The Rock. I get it. But I think there's some
money either way. Baby.
No, I know. But I feel like the man knows what's right. I think he knows what's right. He has a pulse, he on everything that's happening here. So for me, I was just kind of disappointed that there wasn't something that was done. And maybe there will be. I
think you're overestimating his power. That's all.
That's fine. I probably am. But let's get to the real point here. Okay?
He said everything about the title that we've been saying for a year. So here's my thing. This is a quick backstory. I don't like the way The Rock cuts promos, because for me as a viewer, I think about it as, yes, it's supposed to be entertaining back and forth and stuff. But when you get to the point where you cut someone's leg out from underneath them and then they don't seem like a credible threat to you, so that sometimes The Rock goes overboard with that shit. Sometimes.
I'm being nice. that then makes it, one of those points where it's like, well, then why the fuck would I want to tune in and watch The Rock versus so-and-so? Because this guy just got verbally abused on television. And I know it's entertainment and I get that. But at some point there needs to be parameters, because that way, like, The Rock basically steamrolled through everybody because he could verbally just trash him and nobody could touch him. And that's fine. But then you get to Roman Reigns on Friday. And like,
Little brother.
he called him little brother, which is cute. It's fine. And no pop. Like, he's okay. That's fine. Like, you get to that point. But what I don't understand is how he was let go to go out there and cut that promo on the championship. Now, you can say the stuff about Seth Rollins, I work less dates than you and make 10 times more as you. That's fine. My biggest concern here is they are trying to create credibility to a title that has zero credibility. And it's a facade, because wrestling is used car salesmanship, where they just tell you something that you have to believe, even though we don't believe it. That title doesn't mean jack shit. You've talked about it last week. It's fucking way down here. Cody's here just by proxy. And then he has the audacity to say that, like, it's the consolation prize. It's the loser bracket prize. And all I could think about was, I know that he probably thought that was entertaining.
It was.
That was. But what you just did was pull down your pants Randy Moss style and shit all over night one. And everything that Seth Rollins had been working for. And that's to me the biggest detriment to it, especially if you're going to take Cody, move him from this one and bring him over to here. It's like, not only are you cucking him out of the story that he wanted, that he had no choice, and you moved him over to the fucking other title that Roman Reigns just said, ha ha, have a good time being fucking second. And that was, to me, that is like, you can say it's a heel thing. You can say all that bullshit. What you shouldn't do is ever devalue something like that, because what it does is make the person like me go, yes, you're right. Now I don't care. And honestly, I think it led to even making the Cody thing worse.
100%.
Because
it was a real kick in the nuts.
Yes.
And it just like, that's why, like, Cody's reaction was all our reaction watching. It was like, we knew this was a possibility, and we're like torn because it's the fucking Rock, but it's just like, fuck, that was fucking mean.
Yeah. And this is the part that I get. Like, I know Conor McGregor is a great trash talker. Who the fuck is this? And all that shit. Like, I get that. I love that stuff. But even if I was going to trash talk somebody in a wrestling thing, I still need to make that person credible, because here's the difference between how I look at it, and I'm sure The Rock and other people look at it, whatever. But if, like, let's say JC and I are having a wrestling match, right? And I run JC down, and I'm sure JC has some great rundown on me, whatever. But if
a little material,
I'm sure you've got plenty in the back pocket. However, if I run you down just enough, but give you credibility, then there's a reason for somebody to tune in.
The Miz, the Kevin Owens, like all these guys as great heels, they respect their opponents. Then even Logan Paul, like, he gave respect to Kevin Owens before he took it, like, told him he's like fat. Like, he's like, I still respect him. It's just like with The Rock, there's never that respect. And that's
and neither is Roman. Roman doesn't have it either. It's just, it's not there. And that's whatever. But I feel like they get away with it because of where they are in their stature, and that's fine. But I think it does a huge, big detriment to everything involved. And it makes it worse. It makes it too messy. So that's just how I feel. You always want to leave your opponent better than you found them. And I don't think either of them do that anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor. And that's the main reason of why I want to see Thursday. It's because obviously, like, The Rock, obviously, when he came out, like, it was all like cheers because it's the fucking Rock. You don't expect him to be there. Alabama's Rock country too. Like, that's where he fucking had one of his football teams, the 2 times he tanked that league and stuff. So it just, like, it's gonna be interesting to see how, because he literally, like, anything WWE or he has tweeted has just been slammed with the "we want Cody" stuff. And it's just so, and then we saw on Monday that the crowds, I was told when it was happening, even by some of our friends in our own Jobber Docker chat. All right. It's just an internet thing. This is a little bigger than that. And we saw that on Monday. And here's the thing about people, man. People love a reason to come together and, like, stand up for something. And so the longer this movement goes on, the louder it's going to get, because if people go to an event, they're like, I want to be a part of that. And they want to pull out their phones and record all the Rocky sucks chants. And just, that's how it starts. And it just, once a forest fire starts, man, that's why they tell you got to be cool about forest fires, because once they start, there's a lot of kindling out there that's just going to burn. And the Cody fire, it's burning, baby. It's burning hot. Like the passion in my heart for Cody and Cody's passion for all of us, it's burning, baby.
Some might say it's hashtag superhotfire.
Yeah.
Go buy it at tpublic.com/jobberknocker today. Anyway, so I think we've exhausted that portion of the argument. Yeah. Besides the hundreds of dislikes that happened, that was kind of the whole start of it.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it was the most disliked video, I was like, I kind of gotta. I logged on to YouTube, and I don't usually like do the likes dislikes. I gave my first ever dislike to a video because I was like, this is my way. This is my little way of lashing out in frustration in my dejected state, and it felt good. In Nestlemania, it felt good to click that dislike button and be like, This felt better than when I vote for the president of the United States.
Oh, stop it.
With the last couple of years, with the people we've been putting on ballots, man, you don't feel good about any of those boxes. You just vote for the one you feel the least worst about.
The devil you know. Anyway, let's not get political here. I'd rather not talk about it. So I guess my question to anybody in the chat, anybody listening or whatever, where are we now? Like, what do we do? Right? Like, you wait for Thursday. Hopefully we get something. I have some ideas. And then I think Thursday is going to really make us either feel better or feel just kind of just cement that we already what we feel.
Yeah. And I definitely want to hear your hopes, then I can shit on them. So then I don't get my hopes up because that's just how I have to cope. But I do want to get into Monday because obviously we talked about the chants. We talked about all the stuff. They had what was, segment of the year. Seth comes out and that motherfucker got booed the minute he said that he wanted to fight Cody. And it's just like, he was like, whoa, because he like pointed out, he's like, I got a big pop. But you could tell with Seth, like, it's one of those things, like, obviously he wants to be the guy getting this, but he also understands the business and has enough respect for Cody and everything else to like know that he's part of this amazing moment. So obviously he calls out Cody, out comes Cody. That's when we got the Rocky Sucks chance, and that amazing moment of Cody just having, again, Cody and his inability to hide emotions, the level of discomfort. And I said to our boy Dom and Danny and TJ and all the guys in the thread, be like, that's why he's our king, man, because he's better than all of us, because he hates this in a weird way. As much as he loves it, and this is what he always wanted, he hates it because he probably really loves The Rock and idolizes The Rock and has all these great things about The Rock and this and that and whatever. So for him, it's like in the situation, like you can tell, like it's like Arn Anderson pretty much called him a fucking pussy. He won't stand up for himself because he's too good of a person. He's a company man. He'll do whatever it takes. Where Arn, like most people, like The Rock pulled a gun on him, shot him in the fucking gut, and Cody was like, "Okay, I'll see myself out." And Rock walked him go down the aisle, bloody and crawling. Made sure he was gone, and then he went and stared at Roman, the guy who's pointing at the gun at next. But I mean, this segment was amazing. Obviously, Cody like didn't do barely anything, but Seth, like I mentioned earlier, his line like being like to the Rocky Sucks, I never thought I'd hear that. And then obviously McIntyre comes out, and this man cooked. This man, Drew McIntyre, God bless him, Nestlemania. That microphone that he was holding, the words coming out of his mouth were our words. We want Cody. We want you to finish the story. And yes, it was for selfish reasons, but God damn it, it felt good. It felt good to see somebody be able to say what everyone in the world wanted to say to Cody and to the WWE, to the world, for everyone to see. Drew fucking did it. So hats off to Drew. Obviously he did it because he wants to face Seth for like a 15th time. It's funny because he goes, well, he already beat you 3 times. It's just like, I beat you twice. Like, so it's just like this was a gold fucking segment. Obviously it ends with McIntyre once again attacking another entrant superstar. McIntyre later ended the night by attacking Cody, who needed several stitches, by the way, because he had to fucking go back to side quest Nakamura because whatever. But Drew McIntyre shined on this night, and I was very thankful that this is, again, my personal opinion. Again, this is my personal opinion. I obviously know nothing, but you think Triple H wants to, especially with all the work he's put on this Cody thing the last couple of years, you think he's kind of wants to mess with all this? Like, I'm sure he loves the idea of Roman and Rock, but like the timing of this, I'm not sure that him and his creative team are thrilled with this because it makes them look bad with all this like changing and nonsense. So I think like him allowing Drew to go out there and do that, it was just like the creative team's way of being like, you know what? Go do it, baby. This is over our fucking head too, but go out and make some entertainment because that's what we do.
I just thought it was great. I thought Drew McIntyre is my favorite thing on any WWE screen right now. Just just cooking on every cylinder. Drew, kind of exerted himself in that, but Dom makes a great point. Seth, Cody, 3-way with Drew is the worst possible scenario.
It's not great.
I don't see that happening. I really don't. I mean, there were certain scenarios that seem more logical to me.
Well, it's also like, how does that happen? The dude won the Royal Rumble. It's like Drew just, I don't know. To me, this feels like Cody Drew at Chamber one-on-one.
Yeah.
Especially because it doesn't appear that we're having like the Raw superstars in a Chamber anymore. And I kind of talked on the side with you about it. We think it's now going to be Logan Paul in the US title potentially in the Chamber, which I think is fucking awesome. But we'll get to that much later. But yeah, it's just, I agree. I've already cemented myself as the night one main event, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. And the reason why I hate it, Nestlemania, because I have to say this. The thing that should happen is Seth should fucking win. He should win because Cody shouldn't touch that fucking title. But there is a way around it. You have Damian Priest do to Seth Rollins what Seth Rollins did to Roman and Brock so many years ago. He cashes in, makes it a triple threat. Except for he pins Seth Rollins because you can't pin Cody at this point. So he pins Seth Rollins and Priest walks away with the championship and Cody doesn't have to touch it. And the fans are mad because I've seen, we'll hit on theory one here because this one I want to take a shit on immediately, is that Cody Rhodes wins the World Heavyweight Championship and then his goal is to unify the world titles at SummerSlam. Bitch, we just ununified these motherfuckers. That's why this stupid fucking title exists. Like, we can't, like, come on. Come on, people. Like, let's, God.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, people can say the other thing is like, so the people, you've heard reports, and I use reports with air quotes because it's just like people are fucking throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Theory from fucking hacks, yes.
Yeah, and so they're like, okay, SummerSlam's going to be a thing where they unify the titles, which is stupid as you just said. But then I thought to myself, SummerSlam's like a month away from him breaking Hogan's record. So why wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't it makes zero sense to do that. Like, to have him reunify and then, you know what I mean? Like, you're that close. It doesn't make any sense. So for me, I'm just like, this is rough. Now, I think there are certain scenarios in here that I am very interested in.
Let's hear them.
Okay. So you're all going to hate him
on the table, preferably the head.
Yeah. So you're all going to hate him anyway, but I'm going to put these out here. So the one thing I was thinking about was what I think should happen is that Cody Rhodes is not going to be part of any title match either night.
How did that happen?
Hold on.
He just won the Royal Rumble.
I know.
They should have him challenge Gunther. They did it with Money in the Bank. Might as well fuck up the Royal Rumble too. Right? Thanks, Rock.
So here's my thing. I think he's going to hold on to that Royal Rumble victory as a cash-in kind of thing.
That's how it works, though.
I know. No, this is
We're taking some leaps here, Adam.
So Cena used his Royal Rumble victory at the Elimination Chamber. Like, you know what I mean? So there is a precedent for it to not wait. Which, if he wins,
then why Cody pointed the sign? Damn it!
If he wins at Perth before, does that make anything better for you?
Roman ain't gonna be at Perth, bro.
Okay. But here's just go with me on this for the scenario purposes. Excuse me. If he said, "Oh, by the way, The Rock is forcing you to work Perth," that's legit, and then you're off to the races. If he wins at Perth and you got to watch it at like 8 o'clock in the morning, that sucks.
No, fuck that. Fuck that noise. Fuck that noise.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes winning the title at WrestleMania is what we want. We don't want this fucking bullshit. I don't want Perth. I don't want fucking Bully Ray talking about in a fucking basketball arena. I don't care if that's where Dad happened with Daddy. Fuck you. That's dumb. It's a tiny ass arena. We don't want that goddamn SummerSlam. I don't want to wait another fucking year after you told me last year that it would happen this year. I've had enough, Adam.
Okay.
WrestleMania or bust.
Who
I hope
fuck
The Rock
is Adam?
Fucking wins if it's Rock and Roman one-on-one.
Okay, so let's take Cody out of the equation for a moment. What if it's McIntyre, Rollins, and Sami Zayn triple threat? Because I'd like that.
Should be.
Because here's the thing.
But then what are you doing with Cody?
Okay. So I thought about this for a second.
No boy.
for more than a second, obviously. So you have that triple threat over there in night one. You have Roman and what's his face? The Pebble guy.
We'll just call him GMM, Glamour Muscle Man.
Okay, GMM. And then night two, doing whatever. That leads Cody to do whatever the fuck he wants, right? And I thought about this really, really hard. And I thought about this. Seth Rollins and that triple threat does not main event. Cody Rhodes main events night one. Hold on. Hold on.
He thought he finally
had
one.
I know. But that CM Punk thing's coming someday, hopefully. So here's my scenario. Cody Rhodes has that Royal Rumble victory in a back pocket wherever he wants it. This has nothing to do with it. But at WrestleMania, he is out of both title pictures and he's just sitting there like a fucking bump on a log. So he decides to take matters into his own hands. He decides he's going to, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to figure it out. A desperate Cody, right? So Cody Rhodes, so close to WrestleMania, wins the Royal Rumble, but still not in WrestleMania, makes a plea. There is one person that he wants to face that he may never face. And I think having Cody versus John Cena with John Cena's retirement match, where Cody gets to wrestle John Cena in his retirement match, would be a big deal. You don't like that?
No.
Okay.
What'd I just say? Okay. If Cody's not fucking pinning Roman at WrestleMania, I'm not going to be a happy camper, Adam.
You're not already.
Everyone told me it was going to be okay after last year. When y'all told me it was going to be okay. You know, it's fine. It's fine. They made the biggest mistake in wrestling history by not doing it. It's fine because you know what? It's going to be even better when they do it next year. And now you're giving me scenarios where this motherfucker wins the Royal Rumble and doesn't get a title shot at all. Come on.
Okay.
You want me to fucking take this pile of shit that you're trying to shove down my throat? Fuck no.
I'm just testing the waters here, okay?
Yeah, these waters are fucking full of shit.
By the way,
a goddamn sewer?
By the way. You said you were going to be, having some decorum here. You're starting to get a little hot.
Yeah, but I told you your ideas were going to piss me off.
Okay. Let me ask you this scenario. Okay? Rock and Roman happen night 2. Right? Cody does not win the world title, obviously, even though he loses or whatever. The Rock gets fucking annihilated, like squashed. 3 minutes, 8 minutes, right?
That's probably best case scenario for his glamour muscles.
Exactly. Gets fucking squashed. And in this time, they redo WrestleMania 9, but this time The Rock is telling Cody to go after Roman, like Bret and Hogan. He gets to be fucking Hogan, and he goes, you know what? Fucking let's cash it in right here, right now. The place fucking erupts. We get our WrestleMania moment anyway, and he fucking wins night 2, main event, on last, hits his finish, points the sign, fucking cries, and does it.
I just don't see that happening. Like I said, no hopes, no dreams.
So let me ask you this. Yeah. Don't you think you would be upset if that scenario happened?
I wouldn't love it because, like I said, I do not want to watch Rock Roman live because I let's be honest, like the 10 minutes before, like fucking when they do it, like when they like just looking around, the crowd's going crazy, like this is awesome. Who knows? They might be fucking chanting other things at that point. Like that part's clueless. But the minute those two start locking up, does anybody in the world think it's going to be a good wrestling match? Anybody in the world think it's going to actually be good?
No, but that's not the point.
I know, exactly. So it's like, I don't want to watch it. I'm not interested in that. I'm not a nostalgia boy. We've been over this. And I used to shit on old ass fucking Undertaker, rolling his fucking carcass out for the paycheck. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit, man. Like, I can watch that later. Or you know what? I can go on fucking Peacock and go to fucking, let's see. When was The Rock relevant? Oh, fucking 15 years ago? Yeah, I'll watch that. Okay. This man hasn't wrestled in 9 years, Adam, right?
Who the fuck is Adam? Yes, 9 years.
That's a fucking long time for a fucking old glamour muscled man. Come on.
So let me ask you this. This is a potential conspiracy theory / whatever. What if they made it a triple threat match? Do you think that's odd?
It's weird. It's definitely weird. The only scenario, and this is something that I thought I thought was a thing like before Cody won the Rumble with The Rock being involved, and it would be a way to tease the match next year. Is my thought was be like, I don't love this because I wanted Cody Roman, but like The Rock making himself special guest referee, like that was always a scenario I'd like in my mind, knowing that The Rock was a possibility. I was like, with The Rock being there, this is best case scenario because it allows for like if Solo pulls the bullshit like he did last year, The Rock refusing to count the pin, or maybe he takes out Solo or something, and it leaves it between just Cody and Roman, and then he can fucking lift Cody's arm and make it about him. Whatever, it sucks, but it's like that's the best case scenario, and that also leads to then a Roman Rock match happening, whether it's at SummerSlam or the next WrestleMania, because now Roman can fucking blame The Rock, being like, oh, it's bullshit, whatever. That's actually how you tell a story to make it make sense instead of the way they did it. So in my mind, this is something like when he showed up with like what was in Colorado. When was that? Like a couple months ago? Like this was a scenario that came in my head. I was like, I could live with it. So if they're pulling the all swerves to swerves, and when they sign that contract, it's a contract that says Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes with The Rock as special guest referee, I will ejaculate all over my couch. But Nestlemania, like I said, I have no hopes. I have no dreams, no expectations of that happening. But that is the only scenario involving that fucking glamored, muscled man that I would be okay with.
You know what's weird? I have to ask this question. Is this what I'm like every week? Because this is odd.
I'm a dejected human.
This is sad.
I was at the highs of highs last week. I was the highs of highs. I was popping champagne twice in 1 week. Once in this program, once when we watched. I was out so happy. And they pulled the rug out from under me, and I fell flat on my face in the concrete. For the second year in a row, they fucking did it to me. And last year I said, I'm not going to let them do it to me. But y'all made me feel like I was going to be okay because you said, don't worry, it's going to be even bigger. And look what happened.
Okay, so
I'm left naked and afraid and alone in the pouring rain, wet, miserable, and sad, Adam. That's how I feel inside. I am a dead wrestling fan inside. You know the things that were going through my mind Friday night? I was like, I never want to podcast again because I'm done with wrestling. Man. All the emotional bullshit in the moment, reacting. Like, I'm not angry. I've never, this whole thing, like, yeah, you have little spikes where I'm like, fuck the Rock. God damn it, Rock. God damn it, Rock. But I'm more mad at that it's happening. I'm more mad that it's fucking happening. Because it's like The Rock, like, you know, I like to make fun of him because he's Black Adam wasn't a big deal. He failed 2 football leagues. Like, his show Ballers Attack, like, well, you know, whatever. Like, you know, he has his failures, but the he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, one of the most fucking famous men in the world, one of the most beloved men in the world. But that motherfucker might get booed. And that's fucking wild to me. And that's because my man Cody's a superstar. And if they feel like he's not good enough for them, then maybe they're not good enough for me, Adam.
Okay, so just
hashtag we want Cody.
Okay. So we've gone on the spectrum here. If you can't get Cody Rhodes one-on-one with Roman, The Rock is the special guest referee. Is there something in the middle that's a better scenario for you?
I mean, the next step is the triple threat, but I ain't gonna love that because it's just gonna be a Cody Roman match where The Rock comes in and fucking does his stupid bullshit moves. Like, you know, it does nothing for me personally, but it's how you get them all involved. You appease everyone because they're both in the fucking match. And then you still have the possibility that you can do the one-on-ones with Roman with each of them down the line. And it's and then that way The Rock doesn't have to eat a pin, so they can still fucking suck his cock with it's either Roman or Cody getting pinned. So I get it. But again, I'm not at this point, it's like, there's no way for me to like feel super happy. But there's ways, I guess, like I said, like The Rock is a special guest referee. Like the fact that that's like my top choice, like that shows you where we're at. Like they've already broken my heart. They've already smashed in a million pieces. Shattered dreams over here, baby. Ron Broad's brother, but I have shattered dreams.
All right, I think we've talked this for way too long, I think. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Can we put a lid on this until Thursday is my question.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the positive part of the show, shall we? We talked about McIntyre having a great promo on the Monday that happened, and there's a lot of good stuff happening here, sans the situation we talked about for the last 40 minutes. I will say this much. I really thought there was a lot of good stuff happening on SmackDown this week. I really thought, with the exception of the end, whatever, it is what it is. But you look at this, I love listening to KO and Logan Paul. I love that stuff. The fucking I bathed in prime line, fantastic. Fucking wins with the brass knuckles and just like yelling at the referee. And of course it was the wrong referee that, you know, didn't see it, whatever. That's great. I love that shit. And then, of course, we get the knowledge and the know-how that Tiffany and Naomi are in the women's division, which is a huge deal. We've talked about the women's division on SmackDown being kind of a shit show, for the lack of better term, and just kind of not a depth chart there. And that was awesome because we know that those two women can bring it. Fantastic. The other thing that I thought was super hot fire, best thing of the week for me, Bayley picking Io. That made me super happy. We got the Batista-ish treatment and just the little things that were there breadcrumb-wise, as well as her wearing the original white outfit that she had when Damage Control debuted. Love that. And then she learned from her mistakes when Becky Lynch turned on her in NXT, Charlotte turned on her, Sasha turned on her, all of her friends have turned on her over the years. She was ready with a lead pipe this time. I love that. Now, what we get with Bayley, I don't know up until, if we get the hugger and the fucking inflatable wacky flailing arm man, I have no idea. But I'm excited for this because I think the story is there and it's wonderful and she's going to do a great job. And if she wins, fan-fucking-tastic. What a fucking moment for her. It'd be great. So I thought
what I liked about this is they kind of did like the inverse Batista like treatment, because for once, which never happens, and you kind of alluded to it, we had a smart baby face. Like Bayley saw it coming. Bayley pretty much called it out, and she started fucking speaking Japanese, which was the best part of the segment. That got a huge pop because it's like, she's on you. She's seen the fucking shit talk. She's heard it because she can speak Japanese. Like, she's seen the giggling and the laughing. So I just love the fact that she saw it coming. They did it differently. They presented a baby face as actually intelligent for once. My only concern with this feud is we have a long time to Mania. I was surprised that they pulled the trigger on this type of segment so soon. I thought that maybe they'd like breathe this out a little bit and do it maybe even like to give less time, because like the lead up for this will be interesting. There's obviously a lot of history, and like this is literally what I've been begging for like 8 months when I correctly predicted Bayley was going to win the Rumble this year. Pat myself in the back. But it just so it made a lot of sense. But my only concern now is where we were February 6th today, and
9 weeks away.
Yeah, that's a long time to build it, which we've seen, and this is just from based on the last few years. The weakest things going into Mania has been the build for the women's titles. They have not done a good job. And the nice thing for Rhea Ripley's title is we have a breather because she's obviously going to be main eventing with Nia Jax in Perth. So the next challenger, which we assume is Becky, that'll have less time, and so a better chance of not getting stale. Yeah, we can get to that because I have a hope there, but I don't think it's going to happen. But this one is like 9 weeks is a long time. It's a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then this is the biggest problem with the gap as we talk about it. So I am very excited to see what happens with Bayley. I would hope she gets some reinforcements because there's like 4 of them, and if we're on one, it seems like not a great scenario for her. But
Naomi, Shotzi, and Zelina, line them up.
I don't know. They're not getting Sasha, which would be the best. I think the best course of action.
They would have done that already.
No, I know.
Or if they did it in like Night of Mania, that would be an insane reaction.
I think that'd be
if they did that. She came out, helped her win, and then turned on her like that. That'd be like the ultimate, like Sasha Bayley. Like people like would love that, but
not
I
gonna
hold
happen.
my breath in that one.
All right, moving on. I am curious your thoughts on the Braun Breaker introduction.
In terms of
they gave
him he popped up last week too.
They're doing like, but they're making him seem like a big deal. They're trying to bid for him.
It's a pretty obvious reason what they're building him to be the next of. They've lost Brock Lesnar, so when you look at Braun Breaker, he is the closest thing you have to a Brock Lesnar, an absolute fucking beast in different ways. But it's just like the similarities, like it was there, like it was pretty obvious. Like I think he was going to be in the Rumble no matter what, but he definitely got the booking that was supposed to be there for Brock. They gave that to Braun Breaker, and I think that they're going to treat him like that in the main roster, which I think this is the best case scenario for him because this kid's ready now. He's ready. He's proven it at NXT, and I have more on my hope for this later about how they present him. But it's just like this. I like this. His courtship should be delayed because I think like obviously like he's on NXT tonight. He's probably could be on TV right now, but I do like it because it makes him feel like a big day. This contract thing, them fighting over superstars, makes them all feel important, feel like big deals. I believe Andrade signed to Raw, right? So it feels cool. It's cool to have that type of competition.
Okay. Anything that's positive in your end that you'd like to talk about, you sad sack of shit?
No, the Bailey one and the Logan Paul stuff are the big ones for me, and then a guy that could be possibly talked about later in the program.
Okay. I just want to go through on quick heats. Sorry, not quick heats. Quick whatever. I guess shines we didn't talk about here. On Raw specifically, I really, really,
You're really struggling to find stuff because there's not a lot.
Well, no, I was trying to sit here and think. Well, I'm always impressed with R-Truth. Like,
Oh yeah.
I looked at that and I thought to myself, like, what the fuck? Like, we have this random match with the Miz and JD, which again, standard match. JD can't have a bad match. Miz is Miz. You know, he's just
The ending was great with the money spot.
right. It's
Love
just
that.
like there's just so much. It's just like the fact that R-Truth can continuously keep people entertained. It boggles my mind that it's just like, why aren't people looking at him? Like, they tell you to study tape of Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and all these people, you know, Bret Hart or whatever. Like, when you're wrestling, people should study R-Truth in terms of like, do you want to make a lot of money without wrestling? R-Truth, you know, like, it's unbelievable to me. It's fucking unbelievable what they're doing with him. So, and very quickly, the Sami Zayn promo I thought was nice. Odd that there were 3 cameras, but whatever.
I liked it.
But for me, man,
my girl Jackie.
Oh my God. Like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I want him to win the fucking belt. Like, that's it. Like, I want him to.
We've wanted that for years.
I think if you're not going to get CM Punk, you know, all this shit, just let Sami Zayn fucking win. That was going to be one of my hopes. Just let him fucking win the title at fucking Mania, man. Like, let's do it.
I think that's one that they're saving because Cody's finishing the story at some point. The next story is the Sami Zayn again, like path to a world title. And so I think it's unfortunately they're going to kind of hold us off. But did you see the promo after Raw with him and Cody?
Yes.
That fucking beautiful promo with Sami Zayn. Just like we saw it even, I think Sami did a dark match on SmackDown and went out and addressed the crowd about Cody and everything too. It's like these two guys, it's just like they're just, we love them for a reason. It's because they are two of the most genuine people that we've just like watched just be overlooked their whole careers. And it's so cool to see them together. And like, just, they've always been big supports. Both of them have always gone out of their ways to shout each other out. So it's cool to see that special relationship. And if you haven't seen that promo after it went off the air, like, I mean, the Cody part had me in tears because he's like, you guys have given me what I always wanted. He's like, I've always loved you and I've always wanted you to love me. And it's just like that. It's just like, oh my God. But it's just, Sammy's the perfect guy to be out there with them. That they're just like, these are two guys that I think like, if you were a wrestling fan, you just love. It's just like, they're different. And Sammy's special. He deserves the world. I want to see that too. I've wanted to see it forever. But I think they're going to make us wait on that one because they like at some point Cody's story has to end. And then you're looking at the next underdog because that's how wrestling works, man. Once your person gets it, okay, who do we want to get it next? That's what wrestling's all about. That's the beautiful thing about it is always you're ready to jump on the next train, the next Hysteria, the next Kofi Mania, the next Yes Movement, the next We Want Cody. Like Sami Zayn's that can of worms that's just there. And I think they're going to give us teases because they always keep it open. But I feel like they're going to make us wait for that one too. They really are.
All right. So should we get heaty real quick? Get him off my TV, get him off my TV, get him off my TV. Now, we've talked an awful lot. I feel like I should just do the Micro Machines bit and just keep on talking.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to shit on this week, so.
All right, so here we go. On SmackDown, a fucking fatal 4-way. Cool, I guess. It is what it is. Nobody fucking cares. Also, Big Strong Boy and Pete Dunne win in a match that now DIY is going to have a fucking match. We'll talk about that in a second. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't really fucking get it, but it's a thing.
It's showing off their tag division depth, baby.
Yeah, fucking A. Who gives a shit?
A hater.
I don't fucking care.
Hater.
Moving on to, I guess that's the only thing else I can say about SmackDown. Moving on to Raw. Whew, okay, here we go. Fatal 4-way tag match. DIY wins with Johnny Gargano with the fucking, it's my pin. No, it's not my pin. At one point in the match, I'm screaming, yelling, who the fuck is legal? Like, that's why I hate fatal 4-ways, let alone a fatal 4-way tag match. All I could think about was, God damn it, God fucking damn it, where are the fucking tags? Now, great. Everybody looked great in the fucking match. Necessarily not anything wrong with it, but God damn it, when there's anything with that many people in it, it can turn into a clusterfuck, and that was a fucking clusterfuck. It was a fucking car crash. It was wonderful.
It was fun, though. I had a blast.
It was, but all I could think about was, oh, fucking, what are you doing? What are you doing at the end there? But it is what it is. It's not a huge deal. It's just when you're in one of those matches, it's just fucking hard to fucking keep track. I'm sure the referee was ready to fucking lose it. And we have Shayna Baszler talking, and then here's my other thing really quickly. We talked about this last week, but it does seem to like we should expand upon this. This walk and talk promo thing seems to be a thing now. And all I kept thinking about was this looks like a shitty fucking commercial to me. Like I'm watching a shitty fucking commercial. I'm waiting for like Capital One to pop up or like fucking Doritos, like when they talk. And all I kept thinking to myself was, none of you are convincing. None of you are good at talking and walking. I'm waiting for the first person to fucking like walk into a wall or hit the camera or fucking trip. Then I'm going to fucking celebrate because that'll be fucking awesome. I think that would be hilarious. Like if R-Truth fell, it's one thing, but if like someone else did that was supposed to be serious, it'd be fucking awesome. I'm not a huge fan of it.
This is one of those weird Nestle things. Story time. Cause you brought this up like 2 weeks ago when DIY did it. And
Yeah.
I was at work and I was stopped by our boy Cap. And this is the first thing he brought up. He's like, what's Nestle's deal with hating the walk and talk promo? He's like, I kind of liked it because it's something different. They gave us something different. He's like with Ciampa, he's like, I thought it was kind of cool. It was something different. And it was a different look, a different feel. And just like, that's kind of how I feel about it too. I'm very indifferent to it. Like I'm always pro trying things, even if they fail in terms of production, because why not? And then if it sucks, you go away from it. But your dislike for it, it's crazy. Because I saw you ranting on Twitter about it again. I'm like, oh no, this is a thing he really doesn't like.
No, when I look at it, it just feels so inauthentic. It feels so fucking weird. Like in my head, it's like you're about to go out to battle, and you're gonna fucking walk and talk this like about something. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. There's nobody in the UFC that's fucking cutting a promo before they go
their whole entrance is they're talking shit.
But that's not a real fucking, they're just sitting there fucking bouncing around.
Yeah, those are my favorite fighters. Like when my boy Kevin Holland's fighting, and as he's walking out, doing his thing, just talking shit, being like, oh man, and then he's getting like, he's taped up and his shit done, put on the Vaseline and all that. He's fucking talking shit. Like those are my favorite fighters. So you know what? I think I'm pro this.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm pro this. I think you're out of your fucking mind. I want more of this.
You know what's funny?
Bonus hope. I hope they do this for every match going forward.
Go fuck yourself. Honest to God. Here's the thing too that I want to say is that you guys say that all the time, but here's the thing. Secretly, you love these things because you want me to explode. That's why you like it.
It's funny because it's one of those like I can tell when I watch them. They go, Nestle's not going to like that, or Nestle's not a field day with that.
It's not
real. Something like this. It's just so fucking random. It's just like, this is the one he's going at.
So here's the thing.
It must be a pretty good show if this is what he's shitting on.
No, here's the thing though. Like in my head, it's like, and I agree with this. The backstage interview where it's fucking like the camera guy's there, but like no one's supposed to know stuff. That needs to go away. I agree with that.
It's TV, bro.
But it's like, are we a movie? Are we not a movie? Like, I think the hardest part about sports entertainment, wrestling. Art. No, I know, but my thing is consistency in that entire thing. So it's like, are we a movie or are we acknowledging the camera? And I feel like sometimes they just kind of like go back and forth on it. And I think
I like it. That's what makes wrestling.
But I will say this much. I will say a super positive from Monday anyway was Kathy Kelly did a promo. In general, I mean,
a future wife.
Yes, of course. And ex-wife. And so anyway, she cuts a fucking, no, she doesn't cut a promo. Excuse me. Someone else cuts a fucking promo. And then she goes, and then it would be great. And then she fucking like said something else. And then she said Booker, or what did she say? She said like Cole and whoever back to you. And I was just like, they don't do that. Like that made it felt like, because the one thing you hear about all these backstage interviewers is like, they just get the random Aaron Andrews, like last play, take me through it. Like fucking, one question, set them up. But like, when you can give them some personality, like Kayla, I think Kayla does a great job of being like, hey, Paul, and fucking badgering him. And he's like, he's jumping out or whatever. I love that shit. But the fucking walking and talking thing is just so odd to me because I feel like it just creates this weird dynamic of like, I'm talking to you. Yep, that's right. As you know, by the way, please check out fucking, my book or fucking some, here's my t-shirt. Or better yet, why don't you go to blah, blah, blah. It's just so fucking
weird take.
I'm weird. I just feel like at some point they're going to fucking drop a lower third Chiron saying like fucking, here's a fucking thing to buy. Like when I look at it, I'm like, this is so inauthentic and phony. It doesn't make any sense. It's so out of place. I applaud them for trying something different, but I just don't like it. I'm looking at it.
Doesn't sound like you're applauding.
No. I applaud the attempt. I just think it's dog shit. But again, but to be fair, you're fucking lighting a stick of dynamite in Nestlemania because it's like you start with fucking DIY doing it, then Becky does it. It's like 2 people, 3
Yeah,
people.
I mean,
that doesn't
so we'll
help.
wait to see when
Like if
someone
somebody
Nestle
that does it
actually
that I
likes
like.
does it.
Exactly. By the way, we might as well move on to
I
fucking.
was gonna say, can we get to Becky? I need you to
Yes.
rate one of her moves.
Okay. So anyway, our boy Daniel over there from overseas, Mr. Grimwood, he made a joke to me about the fucking the manhandle slam as fucking Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler. Now look, we all know how I feel about Becky. It is what it is. But she serves her purpose. She's super over. It doesn't fucking matter what she does. She's fucking over. Like at that point, she could fucking just trip and fall and they'd still love her.
Yeah,
It
she's
doesn't
a very
matter.
good wrestler, but she just has a tendency to make botches.
Here's my thing is I was taught this, and I think everybody should be, if you don't do something well, don't fucking do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you don't do something well, don't fucking do it. Like that's it. But the fact that nobody has pulled her aside and said, that leg drop looks like you fucking slipped on a banana peel. Sorry. The fucking manhandle slam, as Danny said in the thread, said it looked like
it was like an inch off the ground.
It was an inch off the ground, looking like she was playing with a toddler, putting them to bed. It made my kids have taken bigger bumps on a bed than fucking Shayna Baszler did on Monday. And I was just like, and that was the fucking finish. It wasn't even the fucking, it wasn't the middle of the match. It was a goddamn finish. And it was just like, oh my God. And then they're rolling around with the fucking arm bar. And it looked like me trying to fucking do something. It was just
I can't watch
oh
WWE submissions anymore. I've gone on this rant just because I watch real submissions in UFC and it's just like what they do. It's just like, oh my God, it's an insult.
The fact that, here's the other thing too, the fact that Shayna Baszler is the quote unquote submission magician. And I was just like, she couldn't get out of these things and she couldn't get out of them in a way that looked real. I was just, oh my God. Here's the thing, Becky's not an ass kicker. The fact that they promote her as
a last kicker,
whatever, fuck off, whatever that is just like, Jesus Christ. If you made her an underdog, that's awesome. She's tough. Yes. But don't fucking make her somebody that people fear, because nobody should fear her. She's just not fearable. But the fucking manhandle slam, I was just like, okay, that was probably the worst one she's ever done, right? Probably, there's no debate, right? But you think about the other ones, right? Like, okay, a rock bottom is a rock bottom.
We'll see a few of those.
The rock bottom is a shitty Uranagi, right?
I like the bookend the best.
The bookend is better because Booker T puts some oomph on it, right?
Yeah, he's got his pizzazz.
Yeah, he's got the fucking, he puts the guy way up high and fucking does everything. So to me, it's like Becky's a 0, People's fucking shithead fucking rock bottom, probably a 3 or 4. Bookend's a high 7. Give me fucking Uranagis from fucking Japan. Even the Samoa Joe in the corner Uranagi, fucking that's like an 8.
Solo does a pretty good one.
Solo does a good one too. Yeah, the spinning solo fucking picks him up and slams him down. I'd give that a 9. I like what he does.
Ooh, okay.
I would.
I like this.
But here's the thing, like when you do the Becky thing, I'm just like, oh my God. Like here's the thing. There are people like Rhea Ripley who can fucking, when she hits somebody with something, there's an impact. It fucking looks like it hits. It looks like it hurts. Nia Jax fucking obviously.
We saw it. You made Becky a bloody nose.
You know what I mean? Like there's an impact. And I appreciate keeping people safe. That's important in wrestling. But you got to make it look like it's real. And those are my biggest problems. Is like, Jesus Christ. When you hit the fucking manhandle slam, fucking make it work. Jump. Fucking do something. Don't just fucking go, up and up, down. Like, she doesn't jump. She doesn't do anything. She has no center of gravity. She's just fucking done. She's like watching a fucking Looney Tune cartoon when the fucking Roadrunner jumps off the cliff and he just has the sign and he just drops. That's what Becky Lynch is. No up, just down. That's it. I'm done. Uranagi, do it in Japan. Do it with people who are really good spinning solo. Praised. But no anybody else. The rock bottom, shitty fucking rock bottom. Anything after that, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I hate it.
I will say this, Nestlemania, because when you were talking, I was like, you know what? Becky Lynch is a hybrid. She is a Dean Johnson or a Dwayne Ambrose. She has the fucking hokey bullshit of Ambrose that is annoying, but fans love, and the fucking Shitty moves and nonsense shit talk of The Rock.
Dean Johnson.
Dean Johnson. Becky Lynch is Dean fucking Johnson. She is a hybrid, and it is like the perfect meld for you to hate her. I just realized that because you hated the Hokey Ambrose and you hate
oh my God. You have opened up like my eyes to something.
When you were talking, I was like, oh my God, she's talking about Dean Ambrose.
Because how many times in this program did I go, here comes Dean Ambrose? Whoop, 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 whoop. Exactly.
Becky does kind of wrestle like that. Here's the thing. That's why she's super over, because fans love that shit.
And you want to know something? Of course she wrestles like that, because she was a fucking rodeo clown. She was an actual rodeo clown. So she is a clown. She's a fucking bozo in that ring.
Very talented clown that I like.
Yes. The most talented, overhyped clown. I can't even talk. I'm so angry.
Trying to give it like 5 insults with one compliment.
I can't. Honest to God, let's move on. But anyway, there you go. If you want me to keep rating shitty fucking maneuvers, please throw them my way.
Well, we'll try to rate non-Becky Lynch moves next.
Yes, please. Can we move on from her, please?
It's your segment.
I would rather praise moves than fucking never mind. We're gonna move on. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. So anyway, let's go with Rhea Ripley and fucking Nia Jax. It's a thing. Whatever. Congratulations. It's happening in fucking Perth. But fucking I don't know exactly where to go with this, because it just feels like we're just getting to Perth and then we're getting to Mania. But here's the thing.
There's nothing to sell here. It's like it's Rhea Ripley in Perth.
Right.
She's gonna be super fucking over.
That's it.
Nia Jax is the perfect opponent.
Right.
This might main event.
I would think it would need to.
I think it should, and it probably will. It should.
I mean,
no Seth Rollins, no Roman Reigns. This should probably main event because she's a local girl and she's gonna be so fucking over and she deserves it.
My thing is like, I'm not excited about the lead up to that Mania match either. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
I just think it's stupid. I just think it's fucking stupid.
Well, we just heard for 5 minutes why you think it's stupid. So. It's okay.
All right, can we get hopeful? We're way over.
Glorious! You're my only hope, Nestlemania. I'll go first because I want to bark. I did it backwards. It's not dog wolf, it's wolf dogs, baby. The Wolf Dogs, as correctly predicted by JC and hoped for by JC, won the goddamn Dusty Cup. So they're getting a title shot. But you know what, Nestlemania? This is where my hope comes in because Braun Breaker's been flirting on the main roster. It's like, you know what, motherfuckers? Burn the ships on the main roster too. Bring them up together. Bring them up as a package. Sometimes when they do these hodgepodge tag teams, you catch that lightning. You catch that glorious lightning in a bottle. They have it here. These two guys together are money. I think it's a safe way to bring Braun up to the main roster. It's a good way to reacclimate the very talented Baron Corbin. And hell, these guys would be believable for me as tag team champions. It'd be a great addition to the tag team division, especially for when Judgment Day loses. These would be top heel challengers for whatever babyface team goes over them. And if they split the titles, well, good God, they could be a good run as tag champions. And then it's an easy split when they do it. If they want to go the babyface route with Braun, you can fucking have him beat up Corbin, who most people like to boo anyway. So get the Wolf Dogs on the main roster, baby. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Wolf Dogs for life.
Right.
Did I go too fast for you? Are you unprepared?
No, I have one. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't feel like you were drowned out.
I can bark and howl a little more.
No, it's fine. I'm trying to sit here and think about which one I want. That's really what it comes down to, but it's fine. So here's my logic on this entire thing. WrestleMania is shaping up to be kind of like an interesting thing here. I kind of want to see Logan Paul defend that U.S. title against.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's headed towards KO again. I feel like that's what they're doing. I don't think that's going to happen because they're going to end up probably having that be the Elimination Chamber. So he's not going to get his one-on-one matchup. The other thing that I thought was really telling, and this was something Dom and I talked about privately, but it was very interesting to me. If you watched, there was a backstage segment on SmackDown where it was Bianca trying to talk and fucking Logan Paul comes in. And all I could think about was he made the throwaway line. He said, big fan of your husband. You know what I mean? And all I could think about was, man, I cannot wait for Montez Ford versus Logan Paul. Like that match in general is going to be a fucking trampoline match. Like I fucking like the thought.
Like Paul Ricochet too.
I to me is like, I don't understand how they're going to get there, if they can get there in the United States Championship realm, but that'll definitely be a singles match down the line. But my hope is that they find a way to make Montez Ford, even if it's a one-off, if he doesn't win, whatever. I would love to see Montez get a fucking United States championship. But just having Montez Ford versus Logan Paul at a PLE for me is fucking must see. And here's the thing that this is the thing that we've talked about. I've said this multiple times. I think that the fucking Pride, fucking whatever that whole group of faction is made specifically sort of down the line somewhere after we get through the fucking Cody stuff, after we get through Roman, we get Bobby the world championship somehow so that he can get Montez ready to be world champion someday. So I think in a line of logic here, having Logan Paul give that Logan Paul rub to getting Montez Ford more notoriety in the ring as well as on his podcast after they fight. It seems like he fucking fights everybody and then talks on his podcast with them. That's what you knew because Montez is a fucking star. His wife is already a star. They've got a giant fucking following anyway, but now they got this new reality show. I think it's important going forward because I think that guy could potentially be the future. I really do. And I think Logan Paul is a great catalyst for making other stars and taking people to another level because Logan Paul can eat an L. That's okay. But getting Logan Paul, other people to make them bigger stars is a weapon that WWE didn't have. And he is a absolute star maker is what he's going to be going forward. They're going to harness him to make stars even bigger or just from scratch. And he is going to do a great job at it. So that's my hope. I want to see that happen.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Montez in the ring with Logan Paul. Faux show Nestlemania, but don't call it a comeback. I'm sticking with the Pride theme because new hair, who dis? It's B-Fab helping out Lashley and company against the Final Testament, who were supposed to have a match, but I don't even think the match started. It just was a brawl. And
thank goodness.
Then B-Fab came out and attacked Scarlett to even the odds a little bit. So I'm excited she's back on TV. B-Fab's a stud. So glad to have her back. I think this pairing makes a lot of sense. I think she can definitely help them with promos and such too. So again, I'm enjoying this little fucking C-list thing at least here because it's always fun when you get comebacks and you get people injected. So B-Fab, you're getting my comeback this week. When
I saw B-Fab, I went, of course this makes sense because they made a whole thing about it. But all I could think about was everybody's probably thinking, oh, Bianca. No. Bianca's a star on her own. Leave her alone. All I could think about was Charlotte's moderately talented and B-Fab is moderately talented. It's equal. It makes perfect sense. You got to have the equality because if you had Bianca there and you had Scarlett there, you're thinking to yourself, she would eat her alive. So this is equal. I like it. I think it's
and they're both like pseudo manager, right. You know what I mean? So
they'll get involved.
Even though Maxine and Valhalla have been wrestling every week, but they're kind of the same thing.
Listen, we're not even putting poor Maxine in the fucking heat. We probably should, but we didn't.
No,
it is what
Maxine. Hot to go in the heat.
Well, I'm telling you right now, that fucking back handspring.
What did you expect? What do people expect?
That back handspring. That might be the next move that we talk about. Back handsprings. Just saying.
Who does it? Who does it the best?
Dana Brooke was terrible at it, so that's pretty bad. Maxine's pretty bad at it. Who else did it? I'd have to look it up, but I mean, it is.
There you go. There's your homework assignment, Nessel.
China had a good one, I think, but that's just me. But that's beside the point. Anyway, where am I? That's right. Comeback. Thank you. My comeback goes to one Uso. Jey Uso interrupting the 600-day celebration of Gunther. And I just thought this was a fucking home run of a segment. The fucking watching him come out with the fucking, it's just me, Us. It's just me, Us. And then fucking like St. Louis was fucking going nuts the whole night anyway. But when he fucking came out, I went, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, I cannot wait for WrestleMania when it's Uso versus Uso. 80,000 people doing the fucking, let's just go. Like, holy shit. What a fucking visual that Ray is going to be up in the fucking nosebleeds getting. Just fucking a giant surf feeling of fucking hand waving. It's just, he's so cool. He's so fucking cool. Like, I'll never be even an eighth of...
you're not even in that.
Zero Riz. But man, like he was hitting the yeets for what chance? And then fucking Gunther fucking said the line about, we'll go back to the good old days where I'll beat you so bad they won't be able to tell you and your brother apart. I was just like, holy shit. And then he fucking started, like, Gunther started jiving a little bit. And I was just like, what have you done with Gunther? What have you done with this man? Like, I think after the Miz, he realized, oh, I do have a personality. And it starts to show. Like the Miz did that for Gunther. I don't care what anybody says. Miz did that for Gunther. And so
This segment was A+.
it was A+. Unfucking real. Like I was sitting there like the fact that he was bouncing his head and he called him Oos, like and then he fucking said the line about his brother. I was just like, holy shit. Like, and the fact that he was like, congratulations on all your accomplishment when you did 50% of the work. I was like, there's
so good.
Like
so good.
If you had told me 2 years ago Gunther would have been good on the mic, I would have laughed hysterically at you. Because there's just no, like, he was just fucking Ivan Drago, fucking, I must beat you. If he dies, he dies. Like, that's what he was. He was, and he fucking chopped, Sequoia, chop. Like, that's all he did. And again, fucking over, it worked. But now
he's a sponge, man.
But
this
now
man is a sponge.
I looked at him and I went like, there is literally zero holes in his game. But going back to Jey Uso, he has done literally nothing for like weeks upon
months.
Weeks. It just like he has been doing nothing. And all I could think about was they woke the fuck up and they got Jey Uso back on TV in a fucking meaningful feud. And I can believe that he could beat Gunther because he's the last person to pin Roman Reigns. So and he probably won't win, but I can believe it. And that's when the best wrestling is when you can't call it. And that's what I love about wrestling, when you can't call it. So you get my comeback, Jay, and just fucking keep fucking bouncing, man. I love it.
The segment was just so good. My favorite part the whole time was the visual. I love that they had Ludwig in the middle of the two of them because you could watch him react with his faces positively to everything Gunther did and negatively to everything Jay said. It was just like, it was such a good visual and it was genius because Ludwig is someone who just didn't have to say a word in the segment, but he added so much to it and made everything they said feel even better. So I thought this segment was just so well produced, so well executed. This was a fucking A+ segment. It was probably this was a very tough week, but it was a top 3 segment for me, up with the Cody Drew Seth segment and then the Bailey segment, like for sure. This was fucking awesome. It was awesome. And like you said, Gunther and Jay, these guys have grown so much, but this was great. This is going to be a great feud. Obviously we know where Jay's headed for WrestleMania, so I don't think he's going to be winning the title.
Do you think Jimmy costs him? That makes the most logical sense, right?
100%. Or Gunther Gunther could just win a match, you know what I mean, without it. But I would guess we get some Jimmy run-in. We don't know if this will be in Perth. I don't know if Gunther's worked out his travel status or not. We don't know about that. But if not, this could be a big main event of Raw leading up. So we'll see.
All right, big old finish time. Here we go.
We all finish on SmackDown. We have a number 1 contenders match for the tag team championships. We have Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate taking on DIY Nestlemania. Who you got?
Just as long as they don't walk and talk, it's DIY. No, I really want the big strong boy to win. There's something about Tyler Bate. Every time I watch him, I'm just like, Tyler Bate. I can't help but like get excited to see him. And now that Pete Dunne's like, we already did DIY.
That's what I mean. It seems pretty obvious. That's why I understand them not, because with the Creeds, they're slow playing them, which I think is smart, which by the way, those guys fucking showed out again on Monday. Like, it's just like their talent is popping off the screen. But this makes sense. This will be a fucking porn match for a lot of wrestling fans on Friday. And then I'm assuming this will happen in Perth. And I bet you Bate and Dunn are going to be pretty over there. That's all I've really seen for SmackDown as of now. But on Raw, we have a chamber qualifier match between my girl Liv Morgan and Zoe Stark, which Liv's probably going to win this. And you kind of like look like you wanted to say something about this earlier when I said Becky was the sure thing for Mania. I'm assuming it's because Liv made a pretty good case for herself in her promo on Monday.
So here's the thing. I don't want to keep harping on the Becky stuff, but like,
just make it about Liv then.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing.
You know you hate Becky, but tell us on Liv.
Liv fucking had a wonderful promo on Monday, and I went, she just fucking made a case. She not only did she make a case, but she made a better case than Becky Lynch. Like, I know they're gonna do Becky Balboa and all these cute things with the videos with her daughter, and like that's adorable. But like, stop fucking pimping out your kid and fucking do something else. Like, come on. And then like Liv comes out here and does this fucking wonderful thing about revenge on Rhea Ripley. I'm like, that's it. Like, I want to see it. That's it. I don't care about anybody else now. You fucking Marge, put everybody in the fucking station wagon. We're going to fucking Philly. I want to see fucking Liv versus Rhea Ripley because she's been the fucking finalist of the Royal Rumble twice. She's fucking right there. She's already won a championship. She's believable. She's awesome. But I know we got Becky Balboa, and she's got to fucking be on the fucking title screen and fucking on the banners and yada yada yada. But man, Liv deserves it. Liv fucking deserves it, I think.
I don't disagree. You know how I feel about Liv Morgan. She's always been one of my personal favorites from way back when she was doing the yo shitty gimmick down in NXT. Yeah, I always love Liv, but I think it's Becky time. Liv will have a moment again. Also, we have a 6-person tag between Imperium and Jey Uso and the new. It says Newton Day again. It keeps correcting to where I live.
Newton Day? Where do you live?
Yeah.
Newton Day?
Yeah.
I don't care about 6-man tags. It'll be fun.
It'll probably be a fun match, yeah. And then we have the rematch that everyone's been waiting for: R-Truth versus JD McDonough.
This is a real thing. Okay.
Is this a thing where like after the match, JD accepts R-Truth and R-Truth just becomes a part of Judgment Day?
No.
Because like literally, I felt like I'm like, okay, they've cut R-Truth out. They're gonna get back to serious, but then you have the backstage segment where they all get annoyed and walk away, and Priest is like, you know what, Truth, just do whatever you want. Which is hilarious.
I just think
Priest has been really good in these. Him and R-Truth,
yeah.
Like their on-screen chemistry is really good.
I don't know. There are some people who are good foils for each other, and these two just make magic. Like I don't even care about like what Finn or Rhea does. Dom's like a good whatever, but like JD is the person that keeps losing, and it's so funny because like statistically, you would think JD would beat him. It just doesn't happen.
JD's lost like every match. Like he wrestles every single week and he loses every single week.
It doesn't matter.
Even the Miz, who loses every week, is beaten.
It doesn't matter though because he's still a credible guy. So he does a fantastic job. So
yeah,
I enjoy it. I've been enjoying a lot of it, so it's fine.
Well, now Nestlemania, we're at the point in the program where we can either run through Vengeance Day or we can preview AEW.
Well, do you want to end on a high note or do you want to end on a low note? Or a brown note, as we say.
I feel like we should do NXT next because they deserve it.
Okay, let's do it.
So we kick off the night with the Wolf Dogs winning the Dusty Cup as expected. We saw Trick Williams he didn't do a lot in this match, but he kind of worked an early knee injury, which we saw pay off later in the night.
I loved the entrance of the War Dogs. I thought that was wonderful. I just loved the bikes were great. It makes just weird. I just love weird off, like just odd couple shit. It just works every once in a while. I thought this match was great. There was a lot of good storytelling in it. Trick, pushed out of the way and Mello took the fucking spear. So you think, logically, like where they're prolonging this, which was great. So, but the right people won. So it's fine.
Next up, we had the fucking violent match of the night between Dijak and Joe Gacy. I mean, look, I've been a Joe Gacy guy since day one. I love this guy. I think he's great. I love his fucking entrance music, all of it. And I love this current fucking insane gimmick. And this was a lot of fun.
So here's the thing, like Dijak has a contract coming up. They said in June or something is what he said.
I don't pay attention to that shit.
But all I could think about was he called himself Mr. PLE, which I was like, okay, like
he might be the guy challenging Ilya at the next event.
Let me just say this much, just because it's me, but you can't give yourself a nickname, guy. Somebody else has to give it.
They've given him so many shitty ones like T-Bar. Maybe he does need to give himself his own.
I don't know. Like he's really fucking good though. Like when he's in those matches, he makes it fucking count. But Joe Gacy, Jesus Christ, like when they figure something out for him, that dude's gonna be special. Like he already is, but if he gets to the main roster, he is what we call a utility player, but he could do an R-Truth spot. He could do a fucking realistic spot like Mick Foley falling off something. Like there's so many, the Kevin Owens in him. You know what I mean? Like he's
a guy that when it flips for him and people get behind him, he is going to be such a big baby face. It's a long ways away, but he's that type of guy. Cause you look at him, it doesn't look like he should be a wrestler, but he's so good. He's so good.
I was just really happy because I just thought it was wonderful. Just fucking wonderful.
Whoa, you know what else you think is wonderful? 6-person tags. The family beats OTM, and this was a pretty rough match. I normally don't like to be negative about things, but the new girl in the family did not look like she was ready for this match. She looked nervous, which I understand. It's like first match, like jitters on the PLE, but this was a rough watch.
I'll be honest. I was told on Twitter that this was shitty. I saw the clips, and so I said, next.
Well, we can move on next, Nestlemania, because pew, 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 super hot fire. Lyra and Roxanne already an absolute dynamite match, but Nestlemania. In the middle of the match, shades of Seth Rollins, Lola Vice cashed in her contract. And I'll say this, the match was pretty standard, but when Lola got in there, this thing was pedal to the metal. She had a star-making performance. I mean, it's one of those things. It's easy to hate on someone who comes from a non-wrestling background and stepping in, but She's worked her ass off. She looked good in this match. She's working with two of the best. I think the way they did everything made sense. I think I jokingly said I had just gotten home from work and put it on. I was like, look, cash in, but she's going to eat a pin, but I don't care. And of course she did, but it made sense the way they did it with Tatum Paxley getting involved. Roxanne can be even more upset now. So they still have it open to do Lyra and Roxanne one-on-one. I think Roxanne and Lola are doing something tonight. So I thought this was a great performance for all three women. I thought everyone came out a winner on this match.
I have become a fan of Lyra after that match.
I love Lyra. Oh,
like,
you went to ring gear.
Yes, as a matter of fact, that was great. Exactly it. But that was the exact reason. But there was more to it, obviously. But my other thing is I got to get up to do this. This is where JC is probably going to vomit, but I'm going to do this. I laugh so hard when Lola Vice is like in the middle of the ring and she's like doing this shit before.
That's her thing. She got famous for twerking.
No, I know, but it's just so funny when she does it because all I kept thinking about was like, it's just like she's like revving up and she's like, ha, ha. And I'm just like,
she's revving up that booty, baby.
No, but it was so fucking funny because like in my head, I'm just like, I know what she's doing and it's perfectly okay. But it was just like a moment of like, what the fuck? Like, so fucking funny. And like, you know, like she's like,
not as funny as you reenacted it.
No, I know. I had to do it because I do it for everybody. I do it to make everybody laugh. But like, it was just so funny to me. But it was a great match. Like you said, she came out fucking, everything was so much better.
Next up, I know you have complaints about this match because I read your stupid fucking tweets, but we had the unit, Obafemi, defending his North American title against Dragon Lee. Nestle clearly wanted a squash match here, but it's Dragon fucking Lee, bro. I thought this was fine. I thought this was good. It was a good way to show that Oba can go a little longer than a few minutes. He's got a little bit of gas in that unit tank of his. So, I mean, I'm all aboard the Obafemi train, man. I love fucking big, strong, meaty men, and this man is a fucking unit of fucking absolute muscle meat. Like this man has 0% glamour muscle. This man is 100% fucking pure meat, muscly, wrestling, stud muffin muscles.
Stud muffin muscles.
Yeah.
He is every time you use the word unit, I die a little inside. He's like, when you say he is a fucking unit,
he's huge.
I know, but like when you say the word, he's just like, we need to get a shirt that just says, oh, he knocked himself out. Great. I guess we're gonna do this without him. He is a fucking unit. Anyway, whatever. I don't know what he got so excited. He got so excited he knocked himself out of the thing.
You just froze for me for a minute. I don't know what happened.
Anyway, it is what it is.
We're talking about units and they're trying to cancel us on YouTube.
Yeah, probably. Unit. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, see, but anyway, I just thought that there was way too much offense on Dragon Lee. And I just thought like, the thing is like, it's when somebody like that has a problem putting away somebody like that, it bothers me. That's all. Like, you can't tell me he's as impressive if he's having trouble tripping over a Dragon Lee. That's just my
Dragon Lee has been an absolute stud since he showed up. They're calling him the next Rey Mysterio. Yeah, no, totally.
You can go fuck yourself. Moving on.
Let's call the people who underestimated Rey Mysterio, a former world champion, how that worked out in Nestlemania. We go to the main event where we have maybe I lied about the earlier match being more violent because Dragunov and Trick beat the living fuck out of each other, as in most Dragunov matches, which is why we love him. This match was awesome. Trick showed a different side of his ability in the ring, which again, I think it continues to be part of his evolution if he's going to be this big star like we think he might be becoming now. He's showing he can do it all. But obviously the headline of this match, obviously we know Dragunov won, but the headline came after where Mello was telling him it was okay. Trick Mello gained, but we all knew it was coming. He was wearing the gear to give it away, baby. And he fucking did a number on Trick's knee. We felt it. The crowd felt it. And not only is Trick remaining as the top babyface right now, Mello has put himself as the top heel and has made this match main event level, must-see TV, and an early leader for feud of the year.
I will say this much. I don't think it's going to take place until WrestleMania weekend. I know you have your thoughts on it and that's fine, but I feel like they're going to drag it out because I think it's worth it. I think they know there's enough gusto, enough mustard behind it that it's going to make perfect fucking sense. So it is what it is. But I will say this much. As much as I love Mello, you know how much I love Mello. You know I'm a big Mello guy from day one. I called his matches when he was fucking doing the Michael Jackson gimmick. Like I love this guy. But all I kept thinking about was they kept cutting away to his fucking reactions. And I went, that dude needs acting lessons. Like, it was just like not believable. It was like overacting or not the right response. And I just thought to myself, like, he's in the ring. there's nothing you can say that like he is amazing. He is a generational talent. But I was like, that dude needs to work on his acting because I was just like, the minute he turned heel, he seemed comfortable. But it was just like up until that point, I was just like, this is rough. And like, I get it, but now when he's going to be a full-fledged heel on his own, that's where he's going to fucking succeed. Because I believe that. I believe he thinks he is one of one in his head.
Well, when he started, he was a heel, and we saw how that was. It's like part of the reason he was so over because he was so good as a heel. He was almost too good. So it's definitely in his bag. And him and Trick, I mean, they've been together a long time. Like, this is one of those ones that's personal. You feel it. So it just, these are the ones that hurt, and it's fucking awesome to see. The thing that I'm looking for that is interesting, because obviously Melo's another guy's been flirting with the main roster, is the one thing that bothers me sometimes is when they ignore NXT stuff on the main roster. So I'm curious to see if that flirtation continues throughout this, because it sure feels like Melo is pretty much up on the main roster permanently whenever this match takes place, whereas Trick would probably going to have a title run down there before he comes up. So I just want to make sure that Melo's presented the same way, because on the main roster, he's been like obviously like a babyface and stuff, like whatever. But I will say, tweet of the night was Grayson Waller being like, "Finally, Melo, you figured it out, buddy. I'm so proud of you." So I would love if they put him on SmackDown again, have a little interaction with Waller, because before those guys had a lot of mutual respect for each other when Melo was a heel. So I just want to see, that's my only fear, is I want the character to translate across all brands.
And that's a very valid argument, I think. So,
speaking of valid arguments, there's nothing valid about this AEW Dynamite card. This is probably the best card they put together in a while. But Tony Khan, huge announcement, Nestlemania. Thoughts?
He's Dixie Carter. It'll be fucking, I farted in a fucking toilet, and everybody will love it. I don't know. The problem is they didn't learn, like, it's like AEW is the worst of both worlds. They didn't learn the fucking problems from WCW. They didn't learn the problems from TNA. And they keep making the same mistakes, yet they're ignoring that they're making the same fucking mistakes. So it's just like another announcement, another big announcement, a huge announcement, an earth-shattering announcement, a seismic shift announcement. Like, it's just like, how many announcements can a man have? You know what I mean? And it's like, he does these fucking pre-tapes where he's just like, "Hi, I'm Tony Khan. This is my big announcement." Instead of being like, "This is a fucking big announcement, folks. This is the biggest fucking thing ever." He can't bring himself to do it. It doesn't make any sense. And he's going to let down his fan base. And if the viewership and the attendance are any indication of where this place is headed, it doesn't matter. We've already hit a fucking iceberg, folks. We are already underground. We are fucking under siege. And they are just ignoring the fact that there is nothing happening here. And having Samoa Joe, I love Samoa Joe, but having him at the fucking tippity top might as well be a fucking anchor. Might as well be a fucking anchor for this fucking thing. Just fucking, can we have a moment of silence? Thank you. That's it. AEW is dead.
I was going to say, speaking of mistakes, Chris Jericho takes on Takeshita.
We've seen it before. It's not a good match, and
Takeshita better win. That's a lot.
Takeshita can beat that flabby couch any day of the week. I don't give a shit.
Next up, we have the BCC taking on some luchador team.
You are not going to get me excited, not even remotely aroused for CMLL. Sorry. Is what it is.
I don't even know what that means. We have Tony Storm taking on Red Velvet. Stir it up, stir it up.
Red Velvet's terrible. Just fucking terrible.
You're a hater.
She's not good. She's not good. She's worse than, she's like, they tried to make her Brandy. She's just not Brandy.
She's fine.
She's fine. She's terrible.
Fine.
Terrible.
Oh my God. Your hatred level for some of these people is just outrageous. Next up, tag team title match. Starks and Big Bill take on Darby Allin and Sting in a tornado tag match. Nestlemania, Darby and Sting have never lost the tag team. Sting's going to his last match. It sure as fuck feels like Darby and Sting are winning these damn titles.
Yes, they are, and it's going to be fucking annihilating. It's going to be awesome. The fucking Darby is going to die again, and then fucking Sting's going to do something a grandpa shouldn't be doing. Bad grandpa. And just fucking win somehow. Because it's the main event. It's the feel-good story. It
should be the main event.
Yeah.
But there's another big match on the show.
It'll start
number one contender match, pretty much. Hangman and Swerve. Essentially a number one contender match because I believe they're 1-2 in the rankings. I mean, we feel like it's got to be Swerve's times, right? It's his fucking house. He's super over. He's about to Cody Seth, that motherfucker, Hangman. What, you don't think so?
I think they're
You don't think it's going to be a Cody Seth situation?
It's going to Hanger.
3-0?
Going to Hanger.
Wow.
I think
that's the upset.
I think here's the thing.
During Black History Month? Oh,
yeah.
boy, Tony.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Tony.
March is not a Black History Month for Revolution.
Yeah, it's Black History Month right now, baby.
Yeah,
that was
I'm well
Smurf's whole
aware of that.
promo.
I think they should, but I just don't. Here's the thing. Samoa Joe just got that fucking thing.
Yeah, who cares? Take it off him. He's a transition champion.
I don't think that's the case. I just don't think that's the case. I agree with you.
Then that's another big problem.
We just talked about the iceberg. It's going to continue.
Yeah.
The anchor Joe, anchors away. It is what it is. It is what it is, folks. I'm done with it.
I could see it because you get him beating Hangman, and then the Swerve's the one who probably wins. So you kick the can down the road. But man, I mean, people aren't going to be happy.
You think he cares? He lost what, 2% of his worth this past year, and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Well, he's going to have a huge announcement, and we're super excited for the hugest of announcements, which is probably going to be our fucking tickets with some bullshit because these guys are fucking stooge.
Is what it is.
Yep.
Anything else?
We want Cody.
That's it.
See you Thursday.
This was the longest jobber knocker of all time. Just FYI. I'm fairly certain.
I'm not surprised.
Well,
I talked about Cody for a half hour. You talked about Becky for a half hour. So there it is.
Imagine. Anyway, thank you for being part of the chat here. Thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We will be back next week with more Jobber Knocker.